Travel stocks hit in a flat market. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I've got my stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from the ABC discussing travel stocks taking a hit and the share market, being a little boring at the moment. So we'll jump over here before we go to this article, and we'll see here I've got trading economics and the S&P ASX 200, and for the last few days it's pretty much been flat, just hovering under that 6,000 psychological barrier. We'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see the opening today. But some of the travel stocks that have taken a hit, Flight Centre, we can see here, it's down 4.11%. And let's just jump out to 6 months, and you can see that drastic and dramatic fall from February at $35. We'll jump and have a look at Webjet, and it's down 5% as well. And we'll go out to 6 months. You can see that fall from $9 down to $3.78. Does everyone remember that article I looked at a few days ago, or probably last week, where all these newbie investors were jumping into the market? This is one young lady who was jumping into tourist stocks because she said people will want to go on holiday once all the restrictions ease. Hey, maybe it'll pay off in the long run. We'll have to see, but not if the recurring lockdowns like Victoria's doing keep affecting our tourism industry. And there's a lot of players in tourism. A lot of players dependent on that foreign revenue with our borders closed until 2021, so I guess it's a long-term play. So let's have a look at this article. Australian share market ends little changed as fears of a second wave of the pandemic hit travel stocks. I mean, this is the thing. We haven't even entered the recession. It's just begun. So this is going to be a long-term hit, everyone. The Australian share market has finished little changed after fears of a second wave of the pandemic saw travel stocks fall. After opening lower, the benchmark ASX 200 index pushed into positive territory midway through the session. However, it pulled back from its high to end just 0.03% or nearly 2 points higher at 5,944. Let's hope I'm not reading the ASX 200 and it's down to 1944. Let me know in the comments if you think that could happen. Do you think we could have a Great Depression style stock drop? And look at the numbers, guys. That didn't happen like overnight. That took like a year or two just to steadily go down. The All Ordinaries Index fell by 3 points to 6,058. The major bank stocks rebounded after a mixed performance in early trade, with ANZ up 1.2, Commonwealth Bank up 1.1, NAB up 0.5, Westpac up 0.5, all finishing higher. Mining stocks rose strongly, including South 32 and gold miners, Saracen Mineral, Silver Lake Resources, and St. Barbara. I mean, look at that, 8%, 6.4%, 6%. What does that tell you? What does that tell you if gold miners are going up? I know Peter Schiff is an avid advocator of investing in gold miners, and I know some of the viewers have invested in some of these. Shares in cement maker James Hardie rose 7.3% after it lifted its forecast for profit margins in its North American business. In North America, housing market activity has steadily improved during the past 7 weeks despite the pandemic, the company's chief executive, Jack Trong, said. Shipbuilder Austal was the best performing stock on the benchmark index, with its shares rising 9.5% after it secured a $50 million in funding from the US government, which will be used to increase construction capacity. However, travel and consumer stocks were hit hard amid growing concerns about a second wave of the pandemic. Webjet was down 5%, corporate travel management down 5%, Flight Centre down 4.1%. As retailers also, Myer down 4%, Kathmandu down 1.7%, and Harvey Norman down 1.7%. Over the weekend, the state of emergency was extended in Victoria, and residents of several hotspots in the state were told to stay home. And yet, still, he didn't blame it on the protest. It looks like the protests haven't had the result in a spike increase. So maybe these outdoor activities could be safe. Shares in software company Altium slumped 7.6% after it downgraded its revenue guidance due to the rising number of pandemic cases in parts of the US and new lockdowns in Beijing. Altium has temporarily closed its Beijing office, with staff working remotely. China is a key growth driver for Altium. We will continuously watch any second wave in Beijing and its impact on lockdowns and patent circuit board manufacturing, RBC Capital Markets analyst Gary Sheriff said. On Wall Street on Friday, the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 closed lower, while the Nasdaq ended fairly flat as several US states posted record numbers of new pandemic cases. The Australian dollar rose by 4.35 Australian Eastern Standard Time. It was 0.4 cents higher against the greenback at about 68.6 US cents. The rise in the local currency followed comments from Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe, who said, while he would prefer a lower dollar, it was hard to argue that it was overvalued at the moment. We need to remember the exchange rates of relative prices and health outcomes in Australia have been relatively good, and the economic outcomes so far have been relatively good, he said. So there we go, everyone. We've got, the key points. The share market fought back from early falls as mining and bank stocks rose. I mean, I can understand an increase in mining stocks going up, particularly gold, just for the uncertainty out there. Bank stocks, people buying the dip, assuming that dividends will return, and the banks are prepared for the economic potential or the impact on their revenue due to the people failing to pay their mortgages. Do you think that could be it? Travel and consumer stocks were hit by fears of a second wave of the pandemic. A second wave. And that doesn't really surprise me, just with, we're entering a recession. People are going to be restricting their spending. They're going to be saving everywhere they can. At least you'd think. We're getting mixed messages out there, aren't we? Particularly with travel industry. I mean, travel is a big part of our economy, everyone. We're looking at $60 billion, 3% of GDP. Big employer. And, international travel is non-existent. Even crossing state borders is going to be harder now. Victoria, is their border going to be closed? If it just takes a few hundred cases to lock a border down, tourism is going to be tough. It's going to be bloody tough. James Hardie was up 7.3%. And so that's encouraging. I know some of we were just talking with them about some CapEx on some of their facilities here, and that project just kind of disappeared. We went out there, we negotiated, we were looking at things and going, no, CapEx, gone, taking a hit. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how they perform. So what do you all think, everyone? If we jump over here and look at the market, are you investing at the moment? Are you holding off? Are you looking for particular things to build up a long-term portfolio? Or are you a day trader playing the oscillations in the market? If we jump out to 25 years, we can see here. This could be either really a dramatic dead cat bounce, and we continue to fall down, or is it a recovery? Have a look at the GFC there. Look at that hit. This isn't the first time it's the first time we've crossed 7,000, but we got bloody close then, and look at that fall. Past performance isn't an indication of future outcomes, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Perhaps this is why all the volatility in the market is why people have lost their confidence in super and are pulling out or taking more control themselves. As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay, or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays. We have pocket squares handmade by Rachel behind me. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode.